He's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT. Game analyst for Turner CBS NCAA men's coverage. Reggie's got the first 4 games tonight. It's Cal Poly against Texas Southern. North Carolina State Xavier was on last night. But Cal Poly and Texas Southern coming up tonight. He joins us now. Reg, how are you, bud?
I'm doing well as Iowa versus Tennessee.
Oh, you got that one.
It's a doubleheader tonight as well, yes. But before I know you're going to get into the first 4 and into the tournament, but before you do that, I landed here in Dayton, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is my second time being in Dayton. Actually, I had an exhibition game here way back when Larry Legend took over for the Pacers. Mm-hmm. So as my driver's driving in, he's like, hey, do you want to see the sights in Dayton? I'm like, well, sure. I was like, what is there to really see? I went to Mason High School.
You did not.
My Daniel Theodore Patrick. And I just want you to say, the statue out front is beautiful. This kid has a statue.
I know. It's weird, though, because it's a nude statue. It's a fountain. But, they said we're going to have you. It's sort of lifelike the way you moved on the floor. So they put a statue out there.
You are revered here, my friend. The Walton Gang intramural.
Yep.
Hey, they say that you used to light it up. You're laughing, but I'm being dead serious. I got a tour guide. This was great.
Oh, Reg, I never met a shot I didn't want to take.
And it's funny. They said that, you know what? When you're on Dan Patrick's show and he talks about he never played defense, it is so true. He never played any defense.
I know. God, I loved gunning. I did. There's nothing better than the sound of the net, ball going through the net. Nothing.
Well, I tell you what, we will see a lot of gunning tonight in this first 4, especially in that Cal Poly Texas Southern game.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people have never, ever heard of these two teams. Cal Poly comes in at 13-19. Yeah, okay, they win the Big West. They lost their 8 going into the conference tournament and won 3 in a row, upset Cal State Northridge, and now they're in the dance. How about that?
And I changed my opinion on this about the I don't like the first 4. I would hope that you got in and you're in the tournament. But now I understand if you're a small program, nobody knows anything about you, you get to stand out tonight. Now,
Absolutely.
Iowa and Tennessee, but for Cal Poly and Texas Southern, this is huge tonight for them, more so than Iowa and Tennessee, because it's their night where we can watch them play, and they'll play against competition that is similar, and they're not going to get embarrassed. So
correct. It would be much different, obviously, if Cal Poly was playing Iowa or Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a blowout. But to play a team like Texas Southern, very comparable. Now, opposite, they've won 8 in a row coming in to tonight's game. So it'll be, even though it's a contrasting style, Texas Southern likes to get up and down. Cal Poly likes to play in half court. They want the game in the 50s, low 60s. It'll be very entertaining to call for myself and Lynn and Kevin Harlan.
Yeah, it's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT, and, of course, the March Madness on TNT and True TV. Phil in the Knicks and saying all the right things. And I'm not even sure where you start on this, Reg, where you look at this, if you're a free agent, are you going because of Phil, or is it going to be because of the style? Is it going to be because of the coach? Is Carmelo going to be there? Like, how would you sum this up if you were going to tell Knicks fans of how good this could possibly be or where it goes bad?
Number one, there's no way that Phil Jackson, 11 rings, probably next to Bill Russell, the greatest winner in our game in terms of rings and championships, there's no way he's going to take this gig, this job, without having full autonomy of that team. And not that his legacy will ever be in jeopardy, but he's not going to come out of retirement. He's not going to leave the confines of Manhattan Beach in the warm weather of Southern California and come to New York and not want to be successful. So that's the first selling point. You've got Phil Jackson in the front offense. You're going to go probably to the triangle offense. I hate to throw Mike Woodson underneath the bus because he's doing the best he possibly can there, but I'm sure there's going to be a coaching change.
Yeah.
And the triangle will be the focal point. And I think that is very attractive, not only to Carmelo Anthony and his ability to stay there, as well as free agency. Phil Jackson he's a winner. If you look at it, he's a winner. So if you're a Knicks fan, you're getting one of the greatest winners in our game.
But can you say to Carmelo, and Kobe Bryant was on about 20 minutes ago, and he said, kind of not fair to label, categorize, but here's Melo turning 30. Can I ask him to play a different role or learn to play differently or defer to somebody else?
Maybe not a different role, but how about tweaking your role? Look, Carmelo's been one of the best scorers this game has ever seen. We know he can do that. Now let's try to surround him with better players that fit more into a system. If I'm Melo, point of this, I got to look at myself in the mirror here. Okay, do I want to win a championship? Do I want to compete for championships? Or do I just want, to average 25 points the rest of my career and, go out in the first round? I tell you this, Phil Jackson didn't take over for that. He wants to go deep in playoffs and push for a championship. So for that to happen, Carmelo is going to have to tweak his game. He can't average 25 to 27 points. 20 to 21, his assists go up. He's rebounding fantastic this year, career numbers and rebounds. Keep that the same, but they've got to get better players around him to complement him. He's still going to be the go-to man down the stretch.
But what if you got
LeBron? He's got to
LeBron?
make other guys around him better, and that's one thing that's always been the knock on Melo, is that he hasn't made anyone around him better.
But if I get Kevin Love or LeBron James, I get guys who will complement. They can. You need people to do the things that he won't do or can't do. Now, LeBron, of course, is a stretch.
Right.
But you got Kevin Love. I mean, I get a guy who would be great in the triangle. He's
can
great.
Pass, can rebound.
Yeah,
possibly a Russell Westbrook. That's you're talking about the draft class of 2015, which has those guys in it, and that certainly can help. But it starts with Carmelo.
I think he's going to stay. I think because of the money, and if I'm Phil. Okay, I do have a great scorer here. So I've got my Kobe here. Mm-hmm. I've got my Michael. I just need to have people who can fill in the things that Melo couldn't do, like Kobe and Michael Jordan can do.
Well, if you're Phil Jackson, and obviously you're going to run the triangle, you've got to have bigs that are able to pass the basketball. Now, Cartwright and Luke Longley, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, who was fantastic. You got to have power forwards and centers, if you're going to run the triangle, who can pass the basketball. That's all predicated on reading defenses. So that's, if I'm Phil Jackson, obviously I got to look at the roster. I'm not saying that Tyson Chandler is not a great passer, but him, Amari, you look at their assist numbers, they're not great. So you got to have guys that are willing passers in that offense.
If you could have Joakim Noah or Dwight Howard right now, start your team.
Today?
Yeah.
I'm going with Noah.
Okay. I was just curious.
I just like his overall game, his demeanor. Who's the better talent? Right now, I would probably say Dwight Howard, but Noah does so much for your team at both ends of the floor. Now, you talking about a guy that would be perfect in a triangle offense?
Joakim Noah.
Oh, he would be unbelievable. You could put him at that high post area.
Oh,
He's an unbelievable passer. You could put him on the post. He can hit cutters out of double teams. He can take it off the rebound and go coast to coast. He does so much for your team. Now, if you want a pure power player and to protect the basket and the rim and to give you 13 to 15 points, that's Dwight Howard.
Carmelo or Kevin Love?
If I was starting a team today,
yep.
Kevin Love.
Now, I know age will play in there, too, because there's 5 years difference.
Today, one's 30 and the other one's, 25, 26.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going with Kevin Love.
All right, here's one other thing I wanted to hit you with before I let you go. And that is that two agents who represent NBA players said they are nervous and they're going to advise kids to leave early this year. They're worried that the commissioner, Adam Silver, is going to raise the age limit to 20. And maybe by next year, that there's going to be this push that he really wants to make this happen. And these agents are now, there's a little bit of fear now of that you're going to have to be 20 to go pro. The possibility, likelihood that could pass, that we could see that, is what?
I think 75 to 80%. But here, I've always been a big proponent of this, of kids staying in college, because not only does it help the collegiate game, it's going to help the pro game when these guys are more mature 2 years later coming into the pro game.
But they want to get into that second contract, and that's the problem with this, Reg. They want to get in as early as possible.
They're going to have to tweak that as well.
Mm.
I think everything, the collective bargaining agreement and all that is going to have – you're going to have some sit-down discussions, because if you want to do that, if you want to keep them in college 2 years as opposed to the one, then you're going to have to change the collective bargaining agreement.
I know, and that won't be pretty either. We'll be watching tonight. If you want to give a shout out, I mean, feel free. I mean, you are on my home turf there.
Well, is it Mom and Dad coming? I talked to them after. I forgot to tell you. After I went to the high school, I went by the crib.
You went to my house?
Yeah, I went by the house, and Mom made delicious chicken noodle soup.
Well,
delicious.
Yeah.
So, they're coming to the game, and then afterwards we're just going to go hang out. And, I took pictures with the statue. I'll send those to Paulie, and, you guys can put them up on the website. But It's great. That statue is unbelievable.
My jersey's up in the rafters there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You are you said you were a big deal, but I didn't know you were that big of a deal.
I never said I was a big deal. No. All I know is don't leave me open because I will shoot it. That's all. That's it.
I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, brother. Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Reggie Miller. Games tonight on Turner